Good afternoon. We are here for the regular Orange Township Board of Trustees meeting. Today is June 4th, 2025. Ms. Batten, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Faust?
Here.
Trustee Knapp?
Here.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have any general announcements?
Do
You want to talk into the microphone?
Monday from 4 to, is this on?
Be on.
Okay. Monday from 4 to 6, we're hosting a community conversation with the Health District and SourcePoint here at Township Hall to hear from residents about what kind of programming they'd want to see going forward.
And that's geared towards our 55 and older population?
Yes.
Okay.
No
55
registration.
and better.
And if they have any comments or they can't make it, they can email their thoughts and share their ideas to events@orangetwp.org.
Okay, great. And I'm assuming that's on Facebook and the comment space is there too as well. Great.
Yep, and we sent a letter to all the HOAs too.
Oh, fantastic. Also, again, like a broken record, but the 4th of July parade is still coming up. Sydney, when do we have to register by?
June 20th.
Fantastic. We did find out today that we now have 2 marching bands.
Oh, good.
So the Olentangy High School band is also participating, so that is super exciting. Because a parade with 2 bands is always more fun than just one.
Have we always had just one?
Nope, we've had 2 since we've been
We've
doing
always had
it.
2, right?
But it's, they sign up at different times.
Oh,
So-
okay. I thought there was always 2.
Yeah, there has been 2.
Good.
It's been good. That's the gist of what I have in my brain.
We'll have some updates on the veterans race later on in the agenda. Other than that, I don't have any other further announcements.
Okay, do we have any public comment outside of our presentations? Okay, no. All right, next is Preservation Parks. They're going to come give us a presentation on the Bicentennial Barn.
So if you just want to wave to Eric to go to the next slides, he's controlling that.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having us. I'm Mary Van Haften, the Executive Director at Preservation Parks.
And I'm Matt Simpson, the Senior Park Planner.
So we want to give you an update on the Bicentennial Barn, but since we're here, I thought I'd just very quickly run through who we are, what we do. Many of you know, so I'll flip through this fast, but generally our mission really focuses around 3 things: preservation, conservation, education, and also really recreation. So we could go to the next slide, please. Just a snapshot of where we're located throughout the county, geographically pretty well distributed. We're at 2,400 acres now, and you can see where Allen Creek Reservoir is and where McCammon Park is located. Okay, just a little bit about how we're financially supported. We are primarily supported through a tax levy. We also secure a lot of grants, especially for land acquisition, but also for trail construction and maintenance. And we have a foundation we've had since 2019 who also raises funds on our behalf. Just really quickly, we are a separate subdivision of the state of Ohio. A lot of people think we're a part of county government. Technically, we're not, but we work with the county a lot on payroll and other types of things. We have a 3-board volunteer member. If you want to flip to the next slide, our commissioners are Bruce Rule, John Bader, and Glenn Marsloff, and that's just a quick picture of the size of our staff there. We're at about 33 full-time staff. So again, very quickly, what we truly focus on is the preservation, conservation, and restoration. I should have a photo of the Bicentennial Barn in that, right? Because it's not just about our natural resources, it's also our historical resources. Next one. And adventure and exploration, this is really part of the education, and it's also part of how we want to inspire people to go outdoors. So we have put more of an emphasis in recent years on some of those types of activities like archery and kayaking and yoga, etc. Next slide, please. the Ohio to Erie Trail you're probably familiar with, that runs through Delaware County and not too far away here. Orange Township's done such a nice job of trail connections through the county, and we continue to work toward countywide as well, connecting these together so that especially this Ohio to Erie Trail, people can get on it and ride for 200 plus miles. Health and wellness, again, part of the recreation, and what we encourage is the cycling, like I mentioned, the yoga. And people come to our parks primarily to hike, really. It's the trails that people come. They bring their dog. That's the number one survey after survey. That's what people come to our parks to do. And of course, then the things that you were talking about a moment before with parades and concerts and other types of really special programs and events, movies in the parks, we offer some of those kinds of things too. Little quick snapshot on what we do with education and outreach. That is everything from going into the school or the schools coming to us in the parks. It is Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, it's just different groups, it's the Source Point, etc. And then I wanted to put this in, a little plug for the summer exhibit at Shale Hollow, because Shale Hollow is partly in Orange Township, partly in Liberty Township. So from Memorial Day until Labor Day, they convert that building, McKay Lodge, into an educational exploration area, and we had I think about 10,000 people come through, families usually last summer. Every year it keeps growing and growing, and it's a little building and not a big parking lot, but it's really popular, so I encourage you to go out and check that out. Gallant Farm is located farther up north of Delaware and west a little bit in the county, but that's also a step back in time to the Depression era, 1930s, and we get a lot of school children and field trips out to Gallant Farm. And then finally, like I said, the hiking is huge in the parks, but these self-guided programs are one way that we can reach a lot of audiences and families on their own time. They could just come out in summer letterbox or hike them all. We have a number of programs that we really focus on to meet everyone where they're at. And I will turn it over to Matt here with specifics to McCammon.
Yeah, this is one of our newer parks, I'll say, McCammon Creek Park. It's actually a photo of the northern portion, which is kind of surprising since southern Delaware County has much greenery as you see there. But next slide. So as you know where it's located, on Orange Road in Bale Canyon. It's next slide. Well, first of all, it is surrounded by subdivisions. It's going to be this gem in the community. We purchased it back in 2016-ish through the Postal family over a number of years. Next slide. This particular park is a little different for us. It's 248 acres. It is in 3 pieces. It's got the north area, north of Orange Road. East of Interstate 71 is what we call the east area, and then the barn space. Fortunately, all 3 of these areas are going to be connected by the multi-use trails that the township has put in along Orange and Bale Canyon Road. The north area we just opened about a year and a half ago. If you haven't hiked this, it's a beautiful little area, about 50 acres in size. It's got trails and a hammocking area. You can do a little fishing in the pond, lots of meadows and wooded areas with it. The east area, this is along Alden Creek. We're currently designing another parking area for this, and we're going to put in a new pedestrian bridge over McCammon Creek, so there'll be a pretty extensive trail system there. Ultimately, we hope that it will connect into the Allen Creek Trail, so it'll connect to the state park all the way down to Three Creeks Metro Park on the south side of Columbus. And then the barn area. This is going to be the hub of the park. We're going to have an extensive trail system, fishing. We want to put in a farm-themed play area, and then the barn itself. The barn was built in the early 1900s. It's timber framed. Obviously, it's got the logo, so it's a bicentennial barn. The one of 88 that were originally in the county, now I think it's down to about 50. In and around the barn, I mentioned the farm-themed play area, the barn itself, and trails, picnic areas, and such.
the funding for the project. We bid the project out, and Equity Construction Solutions is the contractor that we have signed with. So in addition to the park funds that we're using, we also, the foundation has raised around $700,000 for the project already, and we have a $500,000 grant through the one-time strategic community investment fund program. I always get a piece of that wrong, but so it's really, the funds are coming from those three sources for the project. And sorry, I should have mentioned the full contract amount is $4.4 million to Equity Construction Solutions.
So the barn itself, it'll be 2 levels, like it currently is. This is the upper level, and the existing barn will generally look and feel just like it does today. It'll just be air conditioning, heated, so it's a full-time and full-year event facility. We're adding what we're calling an annex to the barn, and that will have our restrooms, a small serving kitchen, storage area, office, and another family-style restroom with it. The lower level of the barn currently is just a mechanical space and future uses for it, programming and such. And this is what the barn's going to look like, generally speaking. The original barn will, again, just have that same character as it does today with the annex attached. On the back side, or the west side of the building, we eventually will put in a patio. On the right-hand side is a band stage, and then just greenery in and around it. And this is a photo of it being under construction. We just started about a week ago. They removed some of the windows, and the slate roof has been removed. The next step will be removing all of the siding of the barn, and then the timber framing itself will come down in about over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then after that, it'll, all the foundation work and grading and such. Not so much fun stuff. Schedule-wise, we've been working on this park for a long time. From restorations and streams and plantings and such. We really hit it hard in 2023 with the north portion of the park. We started designing the barn, and now it's under construction. And we plan on having it built and finished by summer of 2026, about a year out. Future additions, we want to add in a secondary restroom that's out in the park. So we have our barn users and our park users, so we'll have an exterior park restroom. We also want to put in the shelter and the playground I talked about. A restroom in that north part of the park where we currently have it open, with the restroom there. Talk about the stage. And then in the future, we'd love to do a canopy block. There's a really beautiful ravine near the barn. We'd love to bridge that with a nice long trail and bridge. And then an adventure area. This could be bouldering, a yoga area, maybe some kind of parkour or fitness area.
Yeah, so one of the questions we get the most is what we're going to do with the barn when we have it restored. And so there will especially initially be a community welcoming period while we introduce people to the barn itself. We'll have some exhibits and displays and some programs and give ourselves a little bit of time to be prepared for the rental portion that we anticipate would be available in probably fall of 2026 is our goal. But so we see this as an opportunity certainly for Park District programs and events, but also then for community gatherings and rental and celebration. Go to the next slide. And then I like to include this last slide, and what this is concentric circles are 1 mile radiuses from the barn itself, just to show those little orange location markers are all of the schools within 5 miles of the facility, which it equates to 26,000 kids. So the opportunity for this park, with the history, with the natural history, with the stream there's so many different things and topics and curriculum that can be explored at the park. So that's one of our goals. And I added this last minute. I think Matt may have given you each an FAQ. This is our version as of today, and as we get more questions about the project and timeline, we can add to this, but it's posted on the website right now, so it gives a little bit more information For example, who Jim and Gay McCammon were, that we named it after the parents of Sue Postal, some of those kinds of things. The website also has the master plan, so there's just good information on there, and people are always welcome to email Contact Parks at Preservation Parks with any questions as well. That's what we've got for you. So we're happy to, you've got a long agenda, but we're happy to answer any questions you have. I should also add that there'll be another FAQ developed specifically about the rental, what the hours are, what the blocks are, what the cost is, all of those things we're working through right now, and we're getting pretty far along with it. But today we're focusing a little bit bigger picture on the park itself and the barn construction. We can come back if you'd like us to come back at a later date and talk about those other things.
Thank you guys for coming. I mean, I'm within that like 1 mile circle of McCammon Creek Park, so we go there on occasion and love it, and love the addition to that park right close to so many homes that we haven't had quite that expansive a park previously, so that's wonderful. At one point, and I may have missed it in all the information, there was like a talk of a kayak launch in that east section.
We considered it in
Okay.
the master planning, but
Yeah.
with the kayak launch just up the way, and Allen Creek isn't the greatest for kayaking.
I wondered about
in
that.
town.
Sometimes it's
So I don't
kind of
think
low.
we'll put one
Okay,
in our
just
park.
wondered. My kids were wondering. That's a win too. So yeah. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, it's really exciting. I'm really happy to have it opening. When is it opening again? Is there a date yet?
Yes, the northern is open now, the
Yeah,
northern
oh.
portion, but summer
Yeah.
to fall of 2026.
So there's, okay, no particular date. Okay.
Like a year, next year sometime.
Wow, already,
Yeah,
yeah.
that seems fast.
It does seem
When
fast.
that opens, when the barn opens, the trails will also be constructed and in place too.
That side.
So that section will be open minus some of the future things that Matt
Will you be
mentioned.
able to connect to Autumn Applause Drive at one point connected? Will you be able to connect that way and get into the trail system?
We're planning to do that. So the goal is to allow the neighborhood to walk in or bike in and not have to get in your car to go drive to one of those 3 parking lots in those 3 separate spaces.
Mhm.
Which again, it's wonderful that they are all interconnected, but as friendly as we can be for walkers and cyclists, we're trying to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful site. I'm so glad it's being preserved. Yeah, and I like all of your parks. I've been to probably half or so. So I try to go every Mother's Day to a different one.
I was walking on Saturday with some friends from church at Chale Hollow, so that was lovely. We
Oh, that's
got to bring our
beautiful.
dogs, so that was wonderful.
That's
So,
beautiful, yeah, yeah, really nice. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for sharing this. Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation from Otarma about one of our insurances.
Thank you very much. I won't take too much time. I figured 5-10 minutes and then maybe address any questions you have. My name's Thomas Welsh, and I'm filling in for Craig Hibner. I think some of you have worked with Craig over the last year. He just had surgery on his shoulder. So anyway, he's out for about a week here, so you're stuck with me. So I just thought I'd take you through just a real high level of the renewal and, touch on anything that's on your mind and what's important to you. So I just have a few packets here to hand out, if that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you've been with Otarma for just over a year, and just to remind you, the program is the OTA's insurance program and handles over 1,000 of the townships in Ohio, about 9 or 10, I think, here in Delaware County. So it's been a program that has really offered a solution from way back when it started. It offered a solution that was kind of independent from the standard insurance market, and the reason being is back in the late 80s there was really nobody wanted to insure townships, so the OTA kind of had to put together a solution and lobby to allow this idea of intergovernmental pooling. So here we are about 38 years later, and program's grown, and it's been very successful. And the nice thing I think for you is when you moved to Otarma last year, you were able to kind of pull everything into one policy. You didn't have excess policies and things like that. And, so there was some benefit there, and I think, you know, from a service perspective, I think hopefully you've worked with some of our service providers already. You know, our risk management team, cyber specialist is available to you. Craig's right in town here as well, so all good stuff there. If you kind of page to the first page there, I just offer a few highlights. What's important kind of from a stability perspective is the program continues to look for a rating company to rate the financial stability of the program. So it offered a AAA rating, and it's done that for years and years and years. So that's always kind of most important for the board, is to make sure that the program's sustainable and it's financially sound and it can handle the risk it's taking on, right? So, you know, when I say that, you've seen how how the insurance market has changed over the past few years. I mean, your homeowner's insurance, maybe your business insurance, everything is costing more. So there is an increase this year, and it's all driven by the industry and any changes that you made throughout the year. So, and some inflationary factors that we apply for your buildings and those types of things. So that was about a 25% increase, 23% I think is what the total was, but it's, you know, there's certainly some justification there as far as, you know, what you're seeing in the industry, as well as, you know, you bought a fire vehicle for $1.7 million, and you increased the properties by about 5%, things like that. So,
Meaning the property valuation.
Property.
Like, we don't add
Correct.
we have not added properties, but.
correct. Yep. The values of the properties were increased. So when you look at just page 2 there, you'll see high level. You have your 3 lines of liability coverage at $10 million. The nice thing with retirement is there's no aggregate limit, so you have a maximum. You have a per occurrence limit of $10 million, but there's no max per year. So you can technically have $10 million per occurrence. You've got multiple occurrences throughout the year. And that's across all your 3 lines of liability. When you page to the next page, you'll see property, and your total insured value is about $23.9 million. That's up from $22.4 million. So about a $1.5 million increase, and that's the 5% inflation that was applied, just to kind of keep up with the industry. The one thing on the very top line there, you see that's a blanket. There's blanket total insured values on your buildings and contents. So what that does is it protects you if you have a total loss to a building like this. I think we got about $1.7 million on this building. It could end up costing $2.5 to replace that, right? So we have the blanket to respond to any one building. Your blanket limit is very significant, right? We keep a list of all of your miscellaneous portable equipment, which you've kept up with. So you'll see the values there. We keep an unscheduled line item, so anything that's less than $5,000 in value, you have significant value there. The faithful performance of duty coverage, that you'll see is replaced the need for bonds. So the law was passed to allow township officials and all public officials to obtain insurance coverage through the policy rather than bonds. So that replaces what you used. So we always want to make sure that list is up to date. If you need to change any names on that list, we can always do that anytime. It used to be that you'd have to have a bond application for any turnover you've had in personnel that is on that list. So, any questions so far? Okay. Next page just summarizes your auto coverage, and again, it reiterates that 10 million limit. Your physical damage, that's where you had a pretty significant increase there, from 6.9 million in total value up to 8.8 million. That's with the new aerial truck. I always like to make sure you have replacement cost coverage on your heavy equipment, your fire and EMS equipment. and you do. So just as long as we keep up with those values year after year and you make those adjustments, we can continue to offer the replacement cost coverage, which means we can replace a new for old, basically. So we'd be obligated to be able to replace one for whatever it costs to get a brand new. The cyber coverage is also built in, so that's kind of rare these days where you don't have to go out and get a separate policy for cyber. So that's nice at $1 million for first and third party coverage. And then your total on the next page, that's kind of a breakdown of cost. You also have an opportunity to get $2,000 back just by using these grants that I've included information on the two grants. So one is a MORE grant that allows you to get $1,000 back for any safety or education or training expense you have.
Yeah, and we did that this year.
Oh, perfect, good.
For our OTA winter conference.
Yes, and it's something we can get annually,
You get
Is
it,
that correct?
so it actually follows the calendar year. So you have, once you renew, you have until.
but every 12 months, I mean, we can
every 12 months,
reapply
yeah.
for that.
It doesn't follow your policy year.
Okay.
So, and then the fire grant is the same type of expenses, but specific to the fire department. So any training, education, or tangible risk management or safety items that you can use. So,
Great.
certainly use those. Any questions at all? Any thoughts?
So our renewal would start July 1, is that, or when would this new policy go into effect?
So your renewal it goes into effect on, so it renewed on 6/3.
Yes,
Okay.
So it's happening right now, basically.
Okay.
Coverage is in effect, but yes.
And so as far as budgets go, we actually did plan for this type of increase. We had about $270,000 appropriated for this, and it is 230, I think the purchase order is 238.
And we had saved some money switching to Otarma a year ago, correct?
Yeah, do you happen to know that by chance?
Yeah, so we were at 193 last year, and I think you paid somewhere in the 216 to 220, I think is what it was, so
Okay.
there was about 30,000 or so in
Mhm.
savings, yeah.
And what did you say the increase was?
So the increase is the exact increase is 23.4%. And that's, from a trending perspective, it's nothing you have or haven't done. That's in line with.
Well, and we added a new
You
ladder
added-
truck.
Yeah, you added
Also.
the truck, we added some vehicles, and then any other exposure. So expenditures also drive liability cost. So, but there was about a 20% increase in liability lines, and that's just across Otarma right now.
And I know you can't answer this, but do you have any guess if this continual increase of that delta is what we need to be planning for? Next year?
Hope not, to be honest with you, so I sit at the Otarma board meetings, and
Yeah.
to be quite honest, these are township officials running this program. They're actually approving these increases or percentages for their own townships, knowing that the pool needs to be sustainable without, so anyway, this year was an odd year, I will say that, because of some reinsurance changes and things like that, so I wouldn't expect it to be 25%. I would think it would maybe budget for 10 to 15% moving forward,
I'll go with 15.
Right. Just keep it at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we may have talked to Craig about the new vehicles, which is why we planned.
Prepared for
Yeah,
this.
prepared for this, so, which was helpful.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Lisa, did you have anything?
So this is pretty normal for this type of insurance industry-wide this year?
It's normal right now. So we do pooling business primarily in Ohio, but I work for Acrisure, and we do a lot of, Acrisure does a lot of other types of business and more standard insurance business in other states.
Mhm.
And they're seeing, plus increases just across the industry, you know, so it's in line with all the retirement members right now. I do see it stabilizing though. I do see it stabilizing
Okay.
over the next couple of years.
So this had nothing to do with any claims that we had or anything, you said, right?
You just had you had one claim on your record right now, and it's fairly modest.
How long do those stay on?
Well, this one is open still, so this
Okay.
one's not closed, so depending on the litigation, you know.
Okay.
But as far as, that's one thing that these pools are, you know, they're not very punitive when it comes to claims like a standard insurance carrier might be.
Okay.
It's because we have so many participants in the
Right,
program and
like
it's spread
I've
across.
been doing this 18 years and nobody's ever been canceled, as far as, you know, and the rates, yes, if you get over a certain loss ratio, like, you know, if you're up around 100% or so, you might start to see debits, but they're just not nearly as punitive as I've seen in the standard market, so.
Yeah, I know one year we had a bunch of claims, like a fire truck fell over and a bunch of other things, I can't remember.
Litigation, yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple of years where it was crazy, and we weren't with Otum
No, we had
then.
Reinhardt.
Yeah, right, it was crazy, yeah, so we don't have that anymore, it's good.
So you don't, yeah, you're pretty clean right now, for sure, from a risk perspective.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
No,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and I just have the rest of the policy along, you know, half hour to an hour version of the policy here, so.
I'll take it, thank you.
The rest of
Okay,
the information, and the paperwork that we signed and the invoice and those types of things.
okay. Sounds good. Yeah, there's consent item and then the purchase orders on the agendas too.
Thanks, too.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
We'll make use of those.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the membership for the town.
thanks.
Okay, do we have any agenda changes?
I do have one that'll be under fiscal officer report that is updating our vendors to be approved.
Okay.
Just so that we're clear, Board, did you give a consensus to move forward?
Oh, yeah.
With the insurance, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions on the consent agenda, which is only OTAR? No. Okay. And make a motion for the approving the consent agenda for the regular meeting held on June 4th, 2025, which includes Resolution 25-158, approving the electronic record of the proceedings from the regular trustee meeting held on May 21st, 2025, and the zoning hearing ZON 25-01, Stugatz Italian Sausage, held on May 21st, 2025, and Resolution 25-159, approving purchase orders, then and now purchase orders, and blanket purchase orders as listed.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
And Trustee Fouls?
Yes. We probably should say trustee Ringel is on vacation today. That's why
And
he's not.
he is absent, yes.
Yes, he is absent. Okay, operations. I'm seeing nothing on the report.
Well, zoning, Robin had a.
Just kidding. Zoning. Sorry, Rob.
Let's shake things up a little bit.
Right.
Keep them alert.
Right. Sorry, Rob.
All right, I'll briefly go through the hearings and meetings report. We do have a meeting following this meeting at 5 p.m. For the hearing for rezoning application ZON-25-02 for the independent living at Old State project. We'll get into that at 5 o'clock. Next week, we do have 2 zoning meetings scheduled. We have one on Tuesday, June 10th at 6:30 p.m. for the zoning commission. They will be hearing rezoning application ZON-25-03, which is for the Aurora Farms property up on the corner of North Road and Shanahan. There's some new ownership for that property, and they are looking to amend the previously approved development plan, switching from single-family condominiums to traditional platted single-family lots. They are planning to reduce the number of units from 79 to 65.
Have we already noticed for that one? The
Yes.
meeting notice, have we gotten public comment yet?
I have not received any.
Okay, just wondered.
Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on Thursday, June 12th at 6 p.m. That is a full agenda that evening with 4 applications. The first is an area variance for property on Vale Kenyon Road to allow for a new parcel in the FR1 district to be less than the minimum lot size allowed in that district. The second is for an area variance over on Holderman Street in Glen Oak to allow for a sports court to encroach into the 35-foot rear setback. Third agenda item is a conditional use for a monument sign for the New Gen Racket Club over on Green Meadows Drive. That is not a variance, just a conditional use. Then there's two agenda items because they are on separate parcels, but they are part of the same application. Nationwide Hotel and Event Center is rebranding and doing some updated signage that will replace their existing signage both along 23 and then Green Meadows Drive.
So they're doing 2 signs for that one?
They're doing more than those two, but those are the two that require
okay.
variances.
And they're in the same location as the old sign,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So it looks a little scary when you see that, because they're asking for 4 variances for each sign, but it's a little similar to the Nissan North project that we saw 6 months or so ago, where they're actually decreasing the overall footprint and sign of the signage, even though it's still not quite compliant with
Okay, yeah, they look
our
larger.
current signage code.
But they're not adjacent to the city of Columbus, right?
No.
So they couldn't annex.
And then we do have one more zoning commission meeting on the calendar for Tuesday, June 17th at 6:30. That is to discuss the continuing of the zoning code rewrite. And then the only other item on the zoning report is the still tabled dispensary on East Powell Road. I do not have any updates on that at this time.
Okay.
Has the other dispensary opened yet, or they applied for permits or anything?
They have applied for their permits. We have approved a change in use permit or exterior modifications for their site. I do not believe they're operating yet, though.
It
No.
doesn't, the building doesn't look any different when I've driven by.
Really?
It's
Just looked at, they haven't done anything
Not
to
the
it
one in
yet?
the township. The one that's not in the township, that's in
Oh,
Columbus,
yeah.
that's on South Old State, I've driven by a number of times, and it just looks like a very calm space.
Is it open?
It is open.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Not,
So I'm assuming, there's cars out front.
There's cars there.
Yeah.
it's quiet. I forgot all about that one.
It's quiet.
Can could you send us those plans? I meant to ask for them, or maybe you already have, for the one that,
On
on
23?
23, yeah. Did you already send those to us?
I don't think I've seen
I
it.
maybe just,
I don't think-
Sorry, which the,
the one,
So
the
for the
new
exterior
one that was, that you
modifications?
approved with
oh,
the.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I meant to ask for that.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, zoning? Okay, now operations? No, okay. Fire, go ahead, chief.
Good afternoon, Board. I have 2 things on the agenda today. First one is to accept a donation from our resident Claudia Crawford. She came by with another member of family. Unfortunately, we responded to an incident with a loved one, and she just wanted to bring the crew, the unit that responded, a gift card for Panera Bread for them to get dinner. So. And then the second thing on the agenda is to accept resignation of part-time firefighter Dalton Warner. He's been with us a couple of years. He's been out for a little while because he got hired on with Norwich full-time, so he's been working there. He asked for some leave to be able to get situated there, but he said that unfortunately he was very happy with his time here, but it's just too much to do right now, so we're hate to see him go. He did a lot of good stuff for us, but he's on to bigger and better things right now, so.
Is he the son of the doctor? Is he related to the doctor? The, Warren? No.
No, first name, last name,
Gotcha, sure, not related at all, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
same thing but totally different.
Oh, yeah, Warren is the guy's last name.
Thank you, yeah.
Warren.
Okay. Anything else fire related? No, fantastic. All right. I make a motion to approve resolution 25-160, acknowledge and accept donation from resident Claudia Klopfer.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Nab?
Yes.
And trustee Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve resolution 25-161, regretfully accepting resignation of part-time firefighter Dalton Warner.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Nab?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Okay.
I do have a quick question. What about the semi that, overturned last night at 23 and Powell Road? Was anyone injured in that? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge. Of course, the highway patrol is doing an investigation to figure out, but what I've heard was there was possible blowout for the tires, which might have contributed to the incident, but
No injuries that you know of?
no.
Wow, and that got cleaned up. Did we respond to that?
Yes.
Right? Oh, yeah, I saw the fire
We were
truck.
on scene for a couple hours, and then it was turned over to highway patrol, and my understanding it was closed to this morning. at
Yeah,
some
like
point.
5 a.m.
It's reopened now?
Yeah, as of, I think, 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, it was closed pretty late, like at 10 last night, so, yeah, what a mess. Yeah, I'm glad no one got hurt.
Yeah. Okay, fiscal officer, Stella.
Good afternoon, Board. I have one resolution for your approval this afternoon. It would be to update our electronic funds transfers to include our new health, medical health provider, Cigna, and then add Delco Water with their new system. We can pay them ACH, or pay them via electronic payments.
Is that the one that Todd's been having to like drive up there?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yes, it's been, we've had a little, well, they have had an issue with their billing, but they have been crediting any late fees, penalty fees.
Okay.
And then this, once we're getting them electronically, and then going ahead and paying them electronically.
Because this is the one where the billing department's like out of state, correct?
I believe
I thought
so,
it was.
yeah. Yeah, because I know at one point in time, that was an issue. I don't know if that was an issue here, but in my other life, that was an issue, so we changed it back to the county. It's been an interesting transition, so hopefully we're coming out, and they've worked through all their kinks. But this will help
Okay.
eliminate any late penalty issues with regards to that.
Great. It'd be nice to be able to pay them online.
Yes. And that's all I have for fiscal.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 25-162, updating vendors approved for electronic funds transfers.
Second. Roll call, Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Thank you, Board.
Okay. Michelle, the administration report.
Yes, thank you. I have a handful of items for this afternoon. I'll just go through them. The first one is a tabled discussion item from the last meeting regarding the master fee schedule changes. We did change the block party event fees and also defined what each of those mean. So if you see on page 10 of the template, you can see how that is divided up. So the block party was decreased to $25. And, that is, the intent of that is if somebody in the neighborhood just wants to have their neighbors over and, reserve the cul-de-sac or something, that's what that type of permit or application would be for. And then we also, took that, divided them up and had the special event at 75 and maintain the limit of 2 per year. And then if you see the caveat at the bottom of these, both block party and special event may or may not consist of staffing needs depending on the situation. So that $36 an hour is still accounted for.
Okay. And then that's communicated to the person who's requesting said permit prior to. like,
Yeah, so
if they'll
the
need to
resolution
pay
reads that it's effective retroactively from May 1st.
Okay, so we'll be able to credit back the individual who kind of got this conversation going.
We'll proceed with a refund, yes.
Okay, great,
yeah.
fantastic. And if I were to have a block party, set up well, I wish I couldn't because I'm not in a cul-de-sac, but, would I know beforehand if I was gonna have to pay the $36 fee, or is it like after the fact, and then they're like, oh, we had to come back and do something?
My understanding is when you apply, it's all pending, so
Okay.
then we would further explain what the
Okay.
cost would consist of. So most likely, it'll at least be 1 to 2 hours of staff time, just because we have to put barricades up depending on the situation, so.
Gotcha.
um,
Yeah, the wording is helpful, thank you for
Sure.
including that in the fee schedule.
Yeah. So the next agenda item is in regards to our cash in lieu. So this is something that we've offered employees who do not enroll in our insurance, a cash in lieu thing, which is, one, I'm fortunate that the township is willing to do this. So what we propose in this resolution is to, because the new health insurance offer has 2 different options, the cash in lieu cost, or how that's quantified, would be based on the lesser of the 2 option premiums. So it's still an increase, it's a couple percentage increase, but we'll continue that on instead of, there was conversations about freezing it, but we thought this was a better alternative. Following that, the Veterans Race update. So Veterans Committee met last week, and in addition to that, we had an internal meeting with the county, Delaware County Engineers and Delaware County Sheriff's Office. From all of those conversations, we are proposing a new route, which I'll show on the screen. So the intent is to have it start and finish at the memorial. Because of the public safety concerns at the intersection of Orange Road and South Old State, county subject matter experts recommended us to head north. So we are going to be doing it through the Abbey Knoll and McCammon Chase neighborhood. So it's kind of hard to see on this one. We'll beautify it when it gets officially released. But the route is, you will turn around, so you'll end, halfway point will be at that roundabout on Orange Road, and then you'll go back and do the same thing, and that completes it at 4 miles.
It's a good route. I live south of there, so it's much more hilly than the original route we were
Yeah,
proposing.
it'll
So
still
for
be-
those who really like hills and don't want to live in Ohio.
It'll be a challenging one, but it's the safest option,
Yeah,
and
it's
we
great.
can still have it centralized around the memorial. In addition to the new route, the committee asked the board to consider changing the name of the race to have it consistent with what it was called before we took it over. So the race, we would like it to be called Heroes Not Forgotten, which is the name of our memorial anyways, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
that-
better to keep the name.
Yeah, so that's in front of you.
Yeah, I like that a lot, yeah.
Okay, great. The next agenda item is in regards to the next step of our fire station. So over the past several weeks, the review committee vetted and interviewed construction manager organizations for consideration, and the committee's recommendation is to award this construction manager at risk contract with Robertson Construction. App Architecture was part of the interview experience to provide their expertise. So we are confident moving forward with Robertson Construction. I've only heard great things. So that is in front of you today to accept their award. And the issuance of the purchase order of $1 million is required to have that award set in place. But we had our finance counsel draft the resolution as if this could be reimbursed with the financing model that we'll finalize later this year. And that money will be advanced to the general fund, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Robertson's, my understanding, a good company. I mean, everybody was good that submitted, but I know the schools have worked extensively with them recently, and we're very pleased. I got a good recommendation from Jeff Gordon at the schools at one time about them, so excited to have them on Team Orange.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is the next step. Donna and I actually met with our financial advisors earlier today to discuss the financing, and I think we'll have a couple options later this fall once we understand what the price of all this is.
Once
So-
the design is more finalized, then we can have a better estimate
Yeah,
of the
so
cost.
it's my understanding the guaranteed maximum price will be divided up into 2 different phases. We'll get the total of that hopefully by the end of the year, if not January, and then spring, we would be all moving forward with
And doing it
financing
in
and
2 would
construction.
allow us to purchase some of our early, like, long lead time items, such as generators and equipment, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
doing some site work, ordering things that take forever, and, yeah.
It's exciting.
Yep. And then the last item I have on the agenda is to schedule a special meeting, and that is in regards to providing an update on our employee health insurance. And I believe the date I would like to propose is Thursday, June 12th at 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So those are all the items I have in front of you, and I am here, and as well as the department heads, if you have any questions.
I have just a couple questions. Let's see here. So the fee schedule,
Yes.
it says, so all these pages are Exhibit A, right?
Yeah, so, because we put it as like a master fee schedule, but Lisa, the only one I changed is.
Yeah, it's
is-
one thing.
Yeah, well, it's a couple, I just elaborated more on page 10, yeah.
Okay, and
But I didn't change any of the other fees.
So the fiscal office will be issuing a partial refund to the one lady, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I let her know and she says thank you, and it was very reasonable.
great.
And can we make sure that, I don't see that this is actually referenced as Exhibit A in the minutes. It says as shown as Exhibit A, but I don't, then it's just a bunch of pages. Yeah, could we just put a title on there?
So amend, like with the title resolution as shown in Exhibit A or something?
B, Exhibit A is going to be my.
Oh, yeah,
is the
Exhibit A. Yeah, it would be
just
Exhibit B.
Transaction, so it'd be B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so, yeah, because it doesn't say anywhere on here, it's Exhibit B, it's kind of hard to see, it's just a bunch of pages.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay, and, I know I had more than one question, hold on. For the cash in lieu, so this was passed like 15 years ago, right? And so this is, the only change being made is the update that's the lowest.
Yeah, because this
What?
is the first year that we have multiple options, the premium, the 25% premium will be based on the lower option.
Would it be, can we indicate somewhere this is not a new policy? That it's just, indicate in the minutes for the record that the only change, Donna, could we put that in there that says, the only change we're making is that now that we have two plans, this is just indicating that's the lower?
I think we could do an update to the policy, in the resolution title, because this is like,
Yeah, something like that, because I want to make it.
As previously adopted.
Yeah, because I want to make it clear, this is
Yeah.
a policy that's been in place for 15 years, and that it's not a brand-new policy, and thus applies to
yeah,
everybody,
as,
As previously adopted at the end of the sentence. Okay.
as previously adopted, what?
I'm just gonna say as previously adopted at the end of the title.
so, and take so resolution 25-164, authorizing an officer or employee to receive cash payment in lieu of healthcare benefits as previously adopted.
Yeah, and that way it makes it clear, it's not a new policy, because there's all kinds of waiting periods and whatever else.
Good catch.
Okay.
You could probably even include, be it resolved, we could include the initial resolution number.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and then I'm like, I don't know what the original
And we can
resolution.
add that.
Yeah, you have that somewhere, right?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, if you can find, yeah, you probably have that somewhere.
I do.
And that way, it's not a brand-new policy.
Can do.
And maybe that was, hold on. I think it's the only questions I have.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Okay. I make a motion to approve resolution 25-163 to amend resolution 25-016 fee schedule for 2025 master effective retroactively May 1st, 2025.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Phelps?
Yes. I make a motion to approve resolution 25-160, resolution 2025-164. Do I have to say 2025?
I believe you.
Okay, cool. Adoption of a policy authorizing an officer or employee to receive cash payment in lieu of health care benefits as previously adopted.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Phelps?
Yes. And then we have a consensus for the veterans race update.
Yes, and that is to change the name, and then I wanted to
Just
go
letting us
through
know about
the
the
route.
relocation.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
make
you
a
guys
motion-
good with that?
Yes.
And, and then for the cash and lieu, so can you put something in the resolution that says that that's the only change we're making, is that between the two healthcare
I
plans?
think, yeah,
Is it possible to squeeze that in there?
it's in there. It's on the
is it?
second, be it further resolved, so that's the change.
The
Yes,
lowest
of the
cost
lowest
health
cost.
health
Yeah.
insurance plan.
Oh, yeah, but does it say that, I mean, in case, auditors and stuff come in, it might be better to have it actually say that, so are you?
Page 12.
Is it?
Yeah, page 12.
Yes.
Just flip the page.
So many pages. Oh, here, it's at that top.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That first one.
Yeah, but I mean, can we have a little, we don't usually put discussion in here, we just refer to the tape, but could you just put a little blurb that says, Ms. Bonnie clarified that the only change being made to the resolution is that now that we have two plans for this year, that it's 25% of the lower amount. just have a paper trail?
We don't do that for journals, it's only action items, so I'd have to, I don't know, we've never done that, I haven't done that in a while.
Because, I mean, if,
I mean,
Years down the road.
I'd rather clarify the resolution than like put like a,
yeah, or can you clarify the resolution to indicate that this is the only change being made?
Oh,
Well, the
yeah.
resolution's passed, so if we want to amend the resolution, you guys will have to,
redo the vote.
yeah.
What would it say?
I think I would add, so with that sentence, the cash and, the only change that is made within this resolution is the cash and loop payment shall not exceed, blah, blah, you know,
Okay.
say,
yeah.
add that. If
Okay,
if
that's
that's,
good.
okay, I'd rather have it in a resolution than me
Yeah,
just
it's
like
fine, it's
adding
fine.
my, okay.
So do I need to read anything again?
I would just repass
Yes.
the resolution, same number,
Okay.
yeah,
Make a motion. the
As
whole thing?
amended.
yeah.
Okay. I make,
Go ahead.
okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 25-164, adoption of a policy authorizing an officer or employee to receive cash payment in lieu of health care benefits as previously adopted. Okay, read the next sentence.
Yeah, and then we just, we're clarifying that, the
cash
only
and-
change of the cash and lieu payment is, what's stated in
Shall
that.
not exceed 25% of the premium of the lowest cost
Yes.
health insurance plan offered
Yes.
by the township.
That's the only change that's
That's
being
the
made.
only change that is being made.
Yes.
Okay, second.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Okay, we did the consensus for the
Yes.
race change. Okay, the next
Yes.
one. I make a motion to approve resolution 25-165, approving and authorizing the township administrator to accept an agreement with Robertson Construction to serve as construction manager at risk for Fire Station 362, declaring the intent of the township to reimburse costs of constructing Fire Station 362 from the proceeds of tax exempt debt and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling in the amount of $1,021,966.
Second. Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve resolution 25-166, resolution to schedule a special meeting of the Board of Trustees on Thursday, June 12th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. here at Township Hall to discuss employee health insurance.
Yeah, second.
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Okay.
Jerry, just one thing to add, for this special meeting or any type of meeting request, I did change the format of this to try to make it a little more transparent, or Ms. Bunting did it, so hopefully you like that. Usually we just say, schedule a meeting for this, but we're trying to like, be a little more, share what we're actually planning on talking about, so,
Fantastic.
okay, great.
Great. All for transparency.
Yes, and so, I mean, I guess if there was some kind of crazy emergency that needed to be added, we would just add it to the special meeting notice. I can't see
As long as
why.
it's 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, I can't see why,
Yeah.
but just in case.
Yeah.
We're still able to do that without having a resolution. But I like this, though.
Correct, yeah, I just
I
would have
like
to republish the notice, if we are adding.
Yeah, I mean, I
If it's
doubt,
an
I doubt that's
emergency.
gonna happen,
Okay.
but
Yeah, it just
it's
depends
not
on
gonna
what.
happen.
So
It's
by
not
being
gonna
more
happen.
Special
specific,
24 hours,
that's the concern,
emergency
is
as
we
soon
could
as
just talk about
possible.
it
Yeah.
as an
You
addition.
can. So if you're like
Oh,
right in the
yeah,
middle
but
of
special
it.
meetings always have to have the purpose
What we might
indicated,
think is
but
the church statement.
I like this though, but I just wanna make it clear that we could
No,
still add to it that
yeah.
a resolution that's this
Township's
specific is not
permitted to
required.
run.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like it, it's smart, I like it.
All right. Do we
Okay.
have any
Plus it
new-
refreshes our minds later.
does.
I don't have anything else on the agenda.
Anything else, Lisa?
Today, no.
How about tomorrow? Wait, are we coming back tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay. All right, I make a motion to approve resolution 25-167, meeting adjourned.
Second,
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.